Right now, millions of ruby-throated hummingbirds are finally arriving in backyards across the United States. Tiny, exhausted birds. After flying hundreds of miles through storms, wind, and open water, are stopping in American gardens looking for one thing: energy. For bird lovers, this is one of the most emotional times of the year. People wait months for that first tiny flash of green near the feeder, the first soft humming sound outside the kitchen window, the first moment a hummingbird suddenly appears, hovering perfectly still in the morning sunlight like something unreal. But this year, many people may be accidentally harming the very birds they're trying to help. Because one small mistake with hummingbird nectar can slowly weaken them, exhaust them, and sometimes even make them dangerously sick. And the most unsettling part, most people doing it genuinely believe they're helping. Today we're talking about the hummingbird feeding mistakes quietly harming thousands of backyard hummingbirds right now, and why many experienced bird lovers are changing the way they feed hummingbirds this migration season. Welcome back to the Bird Know. Subscribe before you leave, because once you understand how fragile these tiny birds actually are, you'll never look at that little red feeder the same way again. The first thing most people don't realize is how close hummingbirds constantly live to exhaustion. A hummingbird is not like most birds. Its heart can beat more than 1,000 times every single minute. Its wings move so fast they blur into invisibility, and during migration, these tiny birds burn energy at an almost unbelievable rate, especially ruby-throated hummingbirds. Some of them cross huge stretches of the Gulf of Mexico almost non-stop. Imagine something weighing less than a few pennies, flying through wind, storms, and exhaustion for hours without rest. By the time many hummingbirds finally arrive in American backyards during spring migration, their bodies are already physically depleted, which means the food they find next matters enormously. And that's where many backyard problems quietly begin. Because most people assume hummingbird nectar is simple, just sugar and water, easy. But the ratio matters much more than people realize. Too much sugar, and the nectar becomes dangerously concentrated. Too little, and exhausted hummingbirds may not receive enough energy during migration recovery. The safest ratio experts consistently recommend is 4 parts water to 1 part. Plain white sugar, nothing else. No honey, no artificial sweeteners, no brown sugar. And definitely no red food coloring, that is most dangerous. And this surprises a lot of people, because hummingbirds are already naturally attracted to the color of the feeder itself, not the color of the nectar. And bright red feeder hanging in the yard is what catches their attention from far away. The liquid itself does not need artificial red dye, and honestly, many experienced hummingbird lovers now prefer completely clear nectar because it feels safer for birds this tiny and fragile, especially during migration season when hummingbirds are already physically stressed and exhausted. That's also why colorless, ready-to-use nectar without unnecessary dyes has become much more popular recently among backyard bird lovers. But the sugar ratio itself isn't the only danger. The real hidden problem is what happens after the nectar sits outside. Especially during warmer weather, many people fill a feeder, hang it outside, and assume it stays safe for days, sometimes an entire week. But hummingbird nectar spoil shockingly fast, especially in direct sunlight. Bacteria begins growing, fermentation can start, mold develops inside tiny feeding ports, and often, people never notice any of it, because the feeder still looks clean from the outside. And honestly, this is one reason experienced hummingbird lovers become almost obsessive about cleaning feeders constantly during hot weather. Not because they're overreacting, but because hummingbirds are unbelievably vulnerable to contaminated nectar, especially black mold hidden around tiny feeding holes. A hummingbird may continue feeding from spoiled nectar long before humans notice anything is wrong, which means some hummingbirds, people think randomly disappeared, may actually be avoiding unsafe feeders completely. And that realization hits hard for many backyard bird lovers, because people become emotionally attached to hummingbirds very quickly, especially older Americans. The same tiny bird often returns to the exact same feeders every morning, the same flowers, the same backyard corners. After a while, they stop feeling random. People recognize them, wait for them, worry when they disappear. And honestly, that emotional connection is part of why hummingbird season feels so special every year. which makes accidental harm feel especially upsetting. Another hidden problem many people underestimate is ants. Ants are constantly attracted to sugar water, and once they enter feeders, they contaminate the nectar surprisingly fast. Some people even spray chemicals near feeders trying to stop them, which creates even more risk around hummingbirds. That's why many experienced bird lovers now use hummingbird feeders with built-in ant moats instead. The moat blocks ants before they ever reach the nectar itself. And honestly, people are often surprised how much cleaner and safer their feeders stay afterward, especially during hot spring and summer weather. And another thing most people misunderstand is how often hummingbirds actually feed. Because hummingbirds don't casually visit feeders once or twice a day. Their metabolism is too extreme for that. Sometimes they feed every 10 to 15 minutes. That's how fast they burn energy, which means spoiled red color nectar or weak sugar water mixtures affect them much faster than they would affect larger birds. And migration season makes this even more intense. To prevent this, you can use red feeder to attract them and the safe colorless nectar to feed your lovely hummingbird. I added the same red feeder style and colorless nectar many people are using this spring. Link down in the description and pin comment for anyone trying to make their hummingbird setup a more safer. You can check after watching this video. A tired hummingbird arriving during cold rain or strong wind may already be operating near its physical limit. Low energy reserves, exhaustion, bad weather. Then it reaches a backyard feeder expecting safe energy, and instead finds spoiled nectar or contaminated feeding ports. When people imagine bird feeding, they usually picture something peaceful and simple. But for hummingbirds, feeding is survival almost every single hour. And maybe that's why humans feel so protective of them emotionally. Because hummingbirds seem impossibly delicate. Tiny hearts, tiny bodies, massive journeys. And somehow, they survive conditions that feel impossible for something so small. Which makes the trust they place in backyard feeders feel strangely meaningful. Especially when one suddenly hovers only inches away from a window while someone quietly watches inside. And honestly, that's why this topic matters so much emotionally to people. Not because they want perfect feeders, but because they genuinely care about these tiny birds. They wait for them every spring. They notice when they disappear. They feel excited when they return again. And most people would feel terrible knowing they accidentally harmed one without realizing it. The good news is, most hummingbird feeding mistakes are easy to fix once people know about them. Fresh nectar, cleaner feeders, safer feeder designs, no artificial dye, and changing nectar regularly during hot weather. Sometimes very small changes make an enormous difference for birds this fragile. The next time a hummingbird suddenly appears outside your window, hovering silently beside the feeder, you'll probably look at it differently, not just as a beautiful little bird, but as a tiny, exhausted survivor trusting your backyard during one of the hardest journeys in nature. Tell me honestly, have your hummingbirds arrived yet this spring? And what's the most magical hummingbird moment you've ever experienced? I read every comment,